All right, does this look familiar? I am back in Wallace, Idaho. Unfortunately, I got into a slumlord kind of situation in Missoula, and we basically shook hands and moved on. I guess we had some differences, and my previous landlord here knows somebody else, and I think we got good chemistry here. And so I moved back to Wallace, Idaho, which I really loved anyway during the winter. I'm recording this at the tail end of winter time, and I think I'm really going to enjoy taking some long distance walks. But I thought I would bring up a lesson that I really applied over the last couple of weeks. You see, I used to have major anger issues, and I think part of the reason I had major anger issues is that I used to plan things way too much. So I would think about what I want to eat for dinner, I would think about where I wanted to go on vacation, or I'd go to a meeting with almost a script of what I want to say to the boss, and more importantly, what I hope the boss will say to me. Now, the problem with all of that planning is that it's very easy for things to not go as planned, right? Obviously, the boss will say a lot of things that you didn't anticipate. Your favorite food might not be available at the grocery store, especially this past year, right? You might not be allowed to travel where you wanted to go on vacation, or you might go to the airport and find there's a delay, or you might go to your vacation destination and something doesn't go right? The weather wasn't what you planned it to be, or maybe if you're hoping to meet up with some people there, they might not be available, or something might happen, or just any number of things, right? So stop planning. So, for example, even though I had wanted to spend some time in Missoula, that was only a general principle, right? I didn't plan on the fact that I'm going to stay there for 3 months and do all these things, and because a lot of other crap could have happened, right? It's not even just the slumlord. It could be that miraculously COVID-19 is all over and we have to go back to work in Seattle, right? That would have been fine with me too. It could have been a slumlord situation. It could have been maybe I even run into some kind of danger over there, right? Maybe there's somebody after me. Who knows, right? Or maybe some girl that I knew back in Wallace wants to get to know me, and maybe I want to move back. Any number of things, right? So I make it a rule to never plan any event, right? I mean, you can have principles, right? You can have principles for where you want your career to go, what kind of friends you want to make, what your favorite hobbies are. That's fine. But never say that today at 5 o'clock I want to eat whatever, or I want to do whatever, or I want to mingle with whomever, or even any mundane task, right? Never try to fixate on a certain food or a person or event. You're just setting yourself up for any sort of disappointment, or at the very least some kind of a shock, right? So a couple weeks ago, I had gone to my favorite bowling alley. I've been bowling regularly for several months now, at least once a week. And at the bowling alley, obviously there's social distancing and all that. And I was lining up for Cosmic Bowling, and usually there's a big line, and if you don't get there early enough, sometimes they might be out of lanes because they only assign every other lane, right? And the guy behind me accused me of cutting the line just because I wanted to wait a good distance from everybody else. And the cashier agreed with him for some reason. I think what happened was, well, this is again one of my least favorite kinds of discrimination. I'm going there by myself, and they probably feel like I'm taking up a lane, well, 2 lanes now, because they have to assign every other lane, right, just for one customer. And probably if the employees are going to take sides with anybody, right, it's probably with the group of people who are now kind of shouting angrily at me. Now the thing is, I like to stand up for myself. And so I pointed out that, I was here at so-and-so time and you guys saw me because we were discussing about using computer simulations on how to throw the bowling ball and all that. I like to be a little bit talkative about some technology that I know of. And even then, the guy at the counter said that, well, you were waiting over there, you weren't in line or whatever. And I still made my point. But I was able to amicably walk away from that. And I credit that to the idea that I don't make plans anymore. I used to get in all sorts of strife, especially with my eating problems. I would make plans to eat whatever, and I would move heaven and earth to get to that food. And sometimes it cost me, I lost a job over it. I lost a girlfriend over it. I put myself in serious problems over it. And what really woke me up to the fact was that during the pandemic, I was putting myself in serious jeopardy just to satisfy a food craving when there's a million other things to eat. I mean, last I checked, most people during the pandemic are eating way too much to the detriment of their health. And here I am fixating on one particular food just because I get into this mindset of something, right? So don't make any plans. Again, I'm not saying to not have principles in life, but have principles, right? General principles. Don't make any plan that involves any specific thing or activity or a person that you want to see or specific words you want to say to a certain person or specific words you want to hear from that person. Never make those plans. Never. And you will be a lot happier.